Good day once again, and welcome to the second perspective of our lesson, the concept and nature of self. In our last video lesson, we have discussed about the concept and nature of self based on philosophical context, into which we identify the different perspectives brought about by various philosophers. In today's lesson, we will be discussing also another standpoint of the nature and concept of self based on biblical sense or the Christian point of view. So let's begin our discussion under the perspective of the biblical or Christian point of view. According to the Holy Bible, for which we can read in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verses 24 to 28. God created man in His image. In the divine image, He created him. Male and female, He created them. God blessed them, saying, "Be fertile and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds in the air, and all the living things that move on the earth." From that context, man is the only creation, according to the Holy Scriptures, who acquires supremacy over other creations. And we are mandated to gain control over those creations in the sense of exhausting them according to their purpose. We are also mandated to be fertile and multiply, to fill the earth and subdue it, but of course, over the context of marriage. According also to the Holy Writ, man, following his redemption by the Savior from eternal bondage, now shares in the infinite merits of his Redeemer and has become not only the inheritor of the new earth, but also the heir of heavenly kingdom. Traditionally, the origin has been ascribed to the sin of the first man, Adam, who disobeyed God in eating the forbidden fruit, who acquired of the knowledge of good and evil, and in consequence transmitted his sin in guilt by heredity to his descendants. The doctrine has its basis in the Bible. From there, all men to be born technically acquired the original sin. Then comes the redemption of men through Jesus Christ, who sacrificed Himself to redeem us from the eternal bondage, and it is said that whoever believes in Him will secure himself or herself for the rights to become the successor of the heavenly kingdom. Thus, it is appropriate to think of the self as the multi-bejeweled crown of creation, the many gems thereof representing and radiating the glorious facets of man's self that include the following: physical, spiritual, rational, intellectual, moral, religious, social, political, economic, emotional, sentient, aesthetic, sensual, and sexual aspects known as the crown creation of self. The crown creation of self refers to the acquisition of the following traits and distinctions. First, physical, which refers to your physical features. Next is the spiritual, which refers to the rituals and acts of kindness manifested by your religious belief. Another is rational, which refers to the balance and logic of your actions. Number 4 is intellectual, which refers to your mental capacity. Number 5 is moral, which refers to your ethical behaviors. Another thing is religious, which refers to the religious sects wherein you are belong. Number 7 is social, which refers to your manner of interaction with other people. Number 8, Political, which refers to the political setup of your community or country. Number 9 is economic, which refers to your means of livelihood or the acquisition of the different resources that we have here. Number 10, emotional, which refers to how you show your feelings to others. Number 11 is sentient, which refers to your personal perceptions towards the things around you. Number 12 is aesthetic, which refers to how you appreciate the beauty of your surroundings. Number 13 is sensual and sexual. Sensual refers to the things that you wish to get, while sexual refers to the persons that you want to be with you, like your parents, peers, and partners. One of the philosophers that gave his context of the biblical or Christian point of view on the nature and concept of self is Saint Augustine. In his context, love and justice as the foundation of the individual self. Saint Augustine believes that a virtuous life is a dynamism of love. It is a constant following and turning towards love, while wicked life is a constant turning away from love. Saint Augustine also believed in Socrates' concept of the dualism of man's entity of having the body and soul. Only, Saint Augustine's perception of the human soul has something to do with its religious aspect, wherein, after death, our soul will ascend to heaven if we are righteous, and will descend to hell if we will live a wicked life. Loving God means loving one's fellow man. And loving one's fellow man denotes never doing any harm to another, or, as the golden principle of justice states, doing unto others as you would have them doing unto you. For us to state that we love God means also showing our love to others. For we cannot say that we love God if we will not show this love to our fellow men. Loving one's fellow man means not doing against to anyone to displace his or her own rights. As the golden principle states that, do not do unto others what you do not want others do unto you. That's all for the biblical or the Christian point of view of the nature and concept of self. Thank you very much for listening, and see you again for our next video lesson.